Thank you, Suruchi. And thank you, Digital Empowerment Foundation. So the genesis of this report is that during the COVID times, I had already begun working on a community network, a Pathardi community network, whose socioeconomic impact Dr. Rajeshri Joshi presented. So during that time, what we also found is that women did not use the connectivity as much as men used. And some of the reasons that we saw was that women did not have access to mobile phones. And that was one of the biggest challenges that women faced, to not use the connectivity. And then they told me in one of the fieldwork of mine, they told me that can you mobilize women in the community to start using the mobile phones? And then I said, okay, then let me stay. So I stayed there in the community in the village, and that's when I found that women were actually owners. They were not the first-hand owners of the mobile phone. The mobile phone owners were actually their husbands or their brothers or their fathers. But the women were owners for a very short duration of time in the entire 24 hours of a day. That is from 8 o'clock in the morning till 5 o'clock in the evening. That is when the male members of the family go out to the agriculture field to do agriculture, and the women are there in the house. But during this duration of time that they are the real owners of the phone, but they cannot access the phone at all because of the work at their home. That was one of the reasons that women told that we would like to have a phone of ourselves first, so can you mobilize us? So then that was the initiation into this understanding that, okay, women try to relate themselves to the mobile phone as a small technology, but they don't know how to use it in a best possible manner to empower themselves. So one of the very good examples is the BIEF's example of the eDost initiative that was a part of our community network. And there we actually found that women don't need very huge technology or very extravagant technology, but a very small mobile phone without connectivity also they start using. And that is that was there in one of the studies that I did after the COVID times, that women were using the smartphone without any connectivity, but using it as a recording machine where they could record the voice of the other women in the community and put it forth as interventions towards within the community. So this study was conducted. We had a lot of discussion with Dr. Rajeshri Joshi as well from BIEF, and then DEF actually has consented to help me in this study by enabling the field environment, because I don't have the reach to the wider field as DEF has. And I worked together along with two of the other researchers called Twisha Sarkar and Ananya Iyer, both of whom could not attend this this program here, this conference here. So this, I have used a mixed method approach, wherein I did a survey of 207 women in various states of India, in various districts, and followed by in-depth interviews. So we segregated the women. The survey was on active users and passive users of the mobile phone. We looked at the mobile phone only because that is the only medium of ICT usage by women in the rural areas. And the reason why I focused on the rural women is that the women in the rural areas, they have to actually overcome a lot of constraints, a lot of challenges to use even a smartphone. So like they don't have access to device, they don't understand English, there is no literacy, levels of literacy is very low, then the digital literacy is also not there. So we use this, and this has come out, the report has come out very well, wherein we look into that even though women in the rural areas have to overcome these challenges, like I just mentioned about these challenges, but then there are other barriers that they have to overcome, that those are the structural barriers of race, of caste, of lower socioeconomic status, high socioeconomic status. So they have to keep overcoming each and every, there are so many challenges that women face. And at the end, when they have overcome all these different types of challenges, and at the end, when they are actually having a smartphone in their hands, they look at being empowered. And that is the story of this report. So I would like to ask Dr. Rajeshri Joshi to throw light into the work that BIAF, in the field environment in which BIAF works. There are quite a lot of women who use very frugal technology, and they have their own enterprise solutions, or they have been economically empowered by BIAF. I request Dr. Rajeshri Joshi to please throw light on some of those cases.
So thank you, Dr. Sarbani. And reflecting back on this topic, and not only in this project which we implemented with APC, but there are so many instances where, women and technology, there is a notion that they don't go hand in hand. I don't know why. Like we had one climate smart village program, and where the entire, because it was like foreign funded and international agencies, lot of thrust on ensuring centrality of women, inclusiveness. So we thought that we collected all phone numbers, and there was this service of providing weather-based crop advisories, and some of those SMS alerts, helpline, and we collected all the numbers, and then we were also the KVKs and government centers, they were providing services. And when we did a review, we realized like these mobiles are not owned by women. I mean, although those numbers were given by women. So, those were owned by their son who is studying in city. So, I mean, the messages were going to them. So, that is one example. Second thing is, in general, stereotype. Even in urban areas, in my colleague in office, like he said कि मेरा phone अभी पुराना हो गया, तो मैंने कहा क्या करेंगे अभी, मैं wife को दे दूँगा. So that type of thing is there कि old phone should be given to wife and not new one. So even in urban areas where things are changing, ये type का notion है. And third example is definitely I think connectivity and having mobile phone. I would request Dr. Sarbani to look into that, how women are also using mobile phones for various purposes. Like I can give one example where I went in Narmada district, and there the connectivity was not there few years back. And when I went last time, little bit connectivity started, because I think Jio had set up one tower over there. So very limited connectivity in one part of village, and wahan jaake young girls were trying to get connectivity and observing something. So I just tried to understand what they are seeing. So they were seeing the beautician hacks, beauty parlor ke hacks, those hacks. But I realized that this is also one kind of skilling, through that they were gaining some knowledge on certain things, and that may help them for their self-development, also for starting some beauty parlor or those type of businesses. Similarly, when connectivity was there during COVID time, there was a bulk order that was given to women from Uttarakhand, and it was a remote village in Champawat district, and there for making masks. And those women had a very good skill of stitching. But then how to make masks, they were not having any skills. So during that time, using the YouTube videos, they could learn about mask making, and they could provide the order was completed. Few lakhs of masks were made, and they could earn good money also. So I think it is worth looking at what this digital connectivity, how it is put to use if freedom is given. Like if there is no structured program, I think it would be interesting to see also.
I'm glad that still we have still we are left over with so many people. So, and this is the first time gender-based, whenever we talk about gender, then only the women come forward. Otherwise, in none of the sessions which we are seeing in the morning, gender presence is minimal. And that's where the challenge comes. Inclusivity is not talked much. I'll go back to the time when we were in the 2012, when phones were recently came, and that's the moment when communication devices have come. It's the best season to see how the communication devices are being used. Give that phone, give that device, or give anything to women, they will make the best out of it. I'll give you an example. I was in a Banaras where farmer women were using their mobile phone, and that time the cost of incoming was charged. So one missed call, my husband has come home. 2 missed call, my kids have come home. That's the power of a communication, and that's the power of a women utilizing the technology. They understand the technology better than the men when they have that power. And the power comes also with the ownership. When you give the devices, the ownership is also like that way. You give them a sense that, okay, as my fellow colleagues have mentioned, that Purana phone hoga, so then we will give it to our sister, we will give it to our mother, or we will give it to anyone who is there as well. But that onus is given when it is given to them. That makes a difference altogether of the devices as well. There are a number of stories which we have been listening since morning, that how women are using it and how women are trying to come with the barriers of it, that overcome these barriers. Still, if we talk about it, less than a 29% women are using the mobile phone. We never had a mobile phone, even in any devices, like a computers have come just because it came for the purpose of a male one, not the female one. अगर कोई भी डिवाइस आ रही है घर पे तो पहले मेल के लिए आएगी फिर फीमेल के लिए आएगी. That we have seen it, and it's a normal structure. We all have it. It's a normal to our mothers. It's normal to our sisters as well at the same time. But how are we trying to categorize that? How we are looking into those ones? One of the things that I'd like to challenge, that we all are sitting in a T-Hub, we are sitting in a startup community. How many of us have thought about to design any devices and design any structure with the gender inclusivity? Emojis have evolved with the dark and with the fair one, and the emojis are evolved because we are forced to evolve that, okay, bring gender in the name of that. Many women, those who are shown in emojis, are either a shortcut or with the buns. We are not always like that. We have a different set of categories. कुर्ता सलवार कुर्ता में कोई इमोजी नहीं दिखेगा. अगर दिखेगा तो इमोजी साड़ी पहन के दिख रही होगी. अगर आपको ANM या आशा वर्कर प्रोटेक्ट करनी है तो साड़ी पहन के आएगी. So how those emojis are evolved. No one is. We need to talk about the inclusivity from the aspect of a design, privacy, consent, and everything. As Sarbani mentioned, that we have a community network with the Radio Bulbul, and one of the things that which I have realized, not by intention that radio station is designed for a women. It's by natural that the two girls started working and they'd taken onus of it. Why? Because they start their job from a 5 to 9 a.m. till 5 p.m. They take a break, but they don't go for a sutta break. So that becomes also a safe spaces for women to come because they are there all the time. That becomes a space for women to talk about many other things as well. So it has become a community space. So it needs to be evolved from the aspect of a community aspect, and it needs to be seen how we are designing things are going as well. Privacy and consent we have taken into granted, but have we ever asked that how women are consent about it? There are a number of things which we can talk about it, but I'll limit to myself here and see that how we can define more gender inclusivity into the different sections, whether it's a technology, whether it's a privacy, whether it's a design and structure. I'm doing one research to think about how design and structures are evolved, and I have came out into 2 papers from a global section. Only 2 papers are talking about gender-based designs. None of the papers which I came through. I'm happy if I get some more examples on that one.
Thank you, Sharmani. Thank you, Rajshri ji. Thank you, Ritu. So, I was also part of, like, a very small part of this editorial part of this report, but I did see there's something very important, which is very important for all of you to read, and it's something which could be like, Sharbani personally feel this could be like taken more further and more detailed in terms of there's something which you try to do is active users and passive users. So for that, if it's something more methodologically, something in ranking and categorizing of women users, right from if communication is something which is very basic, but somebody who's running business through mobile phone or something, then ranking something around that methodologically, something which could be this report needs to be like next year or further if you get time for teaching and research time, if you get, that's very important. And something which Rajashri pointed out is something very important is how just not as technology, she really weaved a very important thing between technology and aspiration. So this also takes me back to my recent field experience in Dharchula, Uttarakhand. So like this is the women of those young women, how technology is very much related to your personal aspiration, who you as a person is going to be, is something which has also become so technologically dependent, is something which Rajashri Joshi really hinted out to. So one of the recent, one anecdote if I could share here. So one of the few young girls in Dharchula in Uttarakhand, when we were in an area where there is no internet, there is no internet, even there is no 2G connection. Few of the women Jio has just come. I don't know how much, why other telecom companies are not there, why only one telecom company is going there. We also need to not leave the other questions while we are talking about gender question, which is like one very gender interference we should always keep on making to talk the other structures as well as with the gender. So Jio networks are there. So those girls would say, we call that area, हम उस जगह को जन्नत कहते हैं. So if I could translate it, it means that we call that place a heaven, because that little is like, I don't know how to say, in the area where I'm standing, this much area only internet comes in Pithora, in Dharchula block in Pithoragarh district. So we need to understand how much there's a different worldview which has been presented by all the 3 panelists, and how Ritu also talked about how designs, women's designs is itself not very gender inclusive, or how they're totally ignorant of the women concern, or different, or people coming from different gender as well. It's very masculine, it's very centered around what one of the very dominant gender would want for. The most important part, our designers do very exciting work.